What would you recommend?
You speak when you do your program. We distract, dispute, and inspire. We distract people from their current story, which psychologists call their self-explanatory style. And through the presentation of your program, with the interviews with your various guests, you break down, you disrupt their current belief system and inspire them to become a pencil in the hand of God and start writing a new chapter with their lives. And so what he did was, and many times people ask me, you say, you're a happy person, you laugh a lot. Well, it's purposeful. Because when I'm laughing, I feel better, even if I'm having pain from cancer or from sciatica pain, and that's a whole nother level. But in order to get through these times where we are, I want you to write this down. Number one, you've got to be positive, because it takes everything in you to be that, and you have to fortify your faith. You have to bolster your confidence. You have to really work to restructure your thinking and not buy into all that's going on. So how do you do that with everything that's going on? Turn the television off. I had some people, some immigrants who were working for me when I was in Miami, and it was in the middle of the recession. They had just gotten here. And what happened was that really intrigued me. In a short time, they were living in the back of my house, and they bought a car and purchased a home, and he expanded his grass cutting business, his lawn business. And I'm trying to figure out, how can he do this in the middle of the recession? And I had friends who were complaining about how tough things were. And then it dawned on me, they were watching television, but they were watching to learn how to speak English. They didn't know what was going on. And so they lived their life like that. And sometimes we have to be intelligently ignorant. According to the laws of aerodynamics, a bumblebee isn't supposed to fly because his body is too large to be held up by its little puny wings. But the bumblebee doesn't know it, and it just keeps on flying anyhow. And so part of what we have to do now is monitor our eyelids and our earlids, what we watch and what we allow to get into our ears, because it will corrupt your thinking and it will compromise your power. And so what we have to do during this time is have a conscious, deliberate, determined effort, have a plan of action to maintain a positive state of mind in spite of what's going on, in spite of the pain and discomfort that you might be experiencing in your body right now, and in spite of the fact that you've lost your job and on the verge of losing your home, in spite of learning, like I learned a long time ago, the best way to get back on your feet is to miss 3 car payments. And what will happen is that when you do that, you can think. Most people operating from fear. Zig Ziglar calls fear a false evidence appearing real. But we want to live from our heart. When you live from your heart, finding answers in the heart, where your heart is, there your treasure is also. There are things that you can do and things that you can create. In this period where we are, my daughter, Dr. Ona Brown, she said, Daddy, gaps are from God. So I've been putting off and procrastinating and allowing life to get in the way. And then when this happened, she said, gaps are from God. Finish your book. It was a struggle for me to finish the book, because what it takes to speak to the ear is different than what it takes to write for the eye. And so during this downtime, I began to focus my mind to complete my book. And now this will not be something that I will die and take with me to my grave. So this is a time that we want to be positive and expect things to get better. We will get through this. This has not come to stay. It has come to pass. And as we think about that understand and know you have goals and dreams, there will be interruptions. Think it not strange that you're facing fiery furnaces of this world. You will. Not you might, you will have tribulations. And so we're going through some stuff right now that we have never seen before. And it's very important that you focus your mind and feed your mind positive things. Feed your faith so that your fears and doubts will starve to death. Don't watch the television. No, you can't feel good when they tell you, this next 2 weeks, this is going to be horrible. Over 100,000 to 200,000 people are going to die. It's not that I'm insensitive to that, but that's not something that I need to hear and to watch all day long, day in and day out. And I must admit, it's addictive. It's hard to pull away from it. But I had to do it because it wasn't serving me. I'm working on building a legacy for my children and for my children's children. A good man leaves a legacy for his children and his children's children. I'm 75 years old. I don't have time to be sitting around looking at the television and then calling people, say, did you hear that? No. Herein my Father glorified, that ye bear much fruit. We want to be as productive as possible. We don't want to just go through this moment in time. We want to grow through it, so when we emerge, we will be better for it. I will have greater mastery of my iPhone when I emerge. I will have greater mastery of new technology and StreamYard that we're broadcasting on now. I developed this ritual to learn something, to know something today that I didn't know yesterday, and bring that over and practice that. So as we look at ourselves and look at where we are, gaps are from God. This is a time to deepen your relationship with family members and friends. This is a time to reflect on your life and ask yourself, am I the person that I thought I would be when I look in the mirror? I didn't expect to get on a scale at Cancer Centers of America and they told me, Mr. Brown, you got to get this weight off you. You're type 2 diabetic and we're going to have to put you on insulin. And the insulin exacerbates the situation with the fact that you're dealing with 4th stage cancer. So now I have to implement a plan of exercise, of prayer, of meditation, and getting social support and reinventing my health. Because if I don't do this, I'm going to allow myself to dig a grave with my teeth. And I want to be here. My work is not done yet. So you have to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort. Put together a plan of action. Ask yourself the question, what is it that I want to do with my life now? What's next? Einstein said that thinking that has brought me this far has created some problems that this thinking can't solve. And most of us don't realize that the behaviors that we engage in, that we started that when we were between the ages of 4 and 6. Dr. Martin Seligman, he wrote a book called Learned Optimism, 26-year most exhaustive study on self-esteem. He said between the ages of 0 and 6, a word is formulated in our heart. And that word is either yes or it's no. I was born in an abandoned building on a poor section of Miami, Florida called Liberty City with a twin brother. And we were first foster kids and then we were adopted. And being born in poverty, the word was no. Being born in an environment that was designed to destroy our sense of self. The word was no. And it compromised and reduced the vision that we had of ourselves. I talk about it in my book called You've Got to Be Hungry. Where that hunger came from, a humiliating experience that I saw my adopted mother go through, and I said, this will never happen to her again. I was just a kid, but I made a commitment. This will never happen to her again. She's working to take care of 7 children that she didn't give birth to. And I'm old school. I don't think a woman should work unless she wants to work. And if she does work, whatever money she earns, she should keep it for herself. A man, not a grown boy, but a man pays the bills. The women should not pay bills. And so I told Mama, I said, Mama, when I become a man at 18, I'm going to sit you down. You never have to work again. And I kept that commitment to her until she was 89 when she made her transition from breast cancer. But here's what I learned from this experience. Robert Schuller said this: tough times never last, but tough people do. That you're stronger than you think that you are. You don't know enough about yourself to be a cynic. You have to challenge yourself. You have to work on your mind. Earl Nightingale said, you don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. And you've got to get an attitude about yourself that, no, I'm not going out like this. No, I remember going to Cancer Centers of America and watching people come in and how they moved and how they went about their treatment. And I had a mindset of defiance. I said, no, I'm not going to be walking like I have one foot on the banana peeling and the other one on the graveyard. I've got work to do. I'm on a mission. I'm claiming my healing now. Before Jesus performed any miracles, he always gave thanks first. I said, I give thanks, I'm healed. I give thanks, I'm healed. I don't care what the instruments say. They say your PSA, which stands for prostate specific antigen, is 2,400. 1 to 4 is normal. 1 to 4, 2,400. Don't even bother driving home. Drive out to the cemetery. No, it's been 27 years. No. And so what we have to do is we have to be focused. Keep that eye single, and the whole body will be full of light. And so where focus goes, energy goes. And so we have to be focused on what's the best choices of how I use my time. What's the best relationships that I should be engaged in and communicating with. When I look at my phone, I'm asking 1 or 2 questions. Is this a phone call that will make me happy or make me some money? Now you a combination of both. All right.
I told my wife I was good for something. Thank you.
Absolutely. And so quality people. Upgrade your relationships. Who should you count on, as my son John Leslie would say, and who should you count out? Because if you have relationships with toxic, negative, energy draining people, it will compromise your power.
Say it again.
I saw a quote the other day that said, stop complaining about the energy drainers in your life when you're providing the straw.
Leslie, let me say something real quick. Before we go any further, I want to say this. I mean, for all of you that have been following me for quite some time, all of you are like, man, Les is stealing all your stuff. Well, let me just be transparent. I stole all his stuff, right? It's okay to be a copycat as long as you copy.
Per set. Paid for a listening party. During the pandemic, people showed up, crowded, some with masks, some without masks, to listen. Woo! 40,000. Let me tell you something. If we had an announcement saying, if you have goals and dreams, we're going to have an event, and all it will cost you is $97 or $100, same money you gave Kanye for him to walk across the stage with a stocking cap over his face to listen to music. Now you can listen the day before. If you don't have an agenda for your life, you will be a part of somebody else's agenda. The things that I want to accomplish, you're a part of my agenda today, and we were unstoppable at getting together. You've been working on this. I love you. You are hungry to connect with me. and then